It's your girl Keshia coming through with a live. Um, Wait for a few more people to come on here, but today I'm gonna be talking about life after death, particularly life after losing a loved one. How you're able to cope with it, how life will be, things you experience, and things I've experienced with recent deaths that have happened within my family. So I just felt the need to come on here and expand on this subject. I am grieving at the moment. Um, my kid's father passed away, who I was with for over 23 years, and it's been quite a struggle. So I want to encourage anyone who's going through grieving and the process of grieving, and to let you know that it does eventually get better. Um, there are certain things that you will go through in the grieving process. You have to prepare yourself for it. Death is something that you actually can never prepare yourself for. To be completely honest, there's no way to compare, to even prepare yourself for that. I've dealt with a lot of death, and within my family. I've lost my mother. I lost my grandmother, and like I said, just recently, in April, lost my kid's father, my partner for over 23 years. We have three children together. It's just a lot, dealing with death. It can be a very, very, very touchy subject. A lot of people don't like to talk about it, but I felt the need to get on live today and to speak to you guys about it because a lot of us are grieving and dealing with, life after death, and not only life after, the death of the person, but also learning to deal with life in general after losing a loved one, after dealing with death and learning to grieve and to deal with all of that. It can be tremendously hard. So that's one of the main reasons I did this live today, because since I am going through it myself, I can really let you guys know how it feels. Death is very, very, very hard. And like I said, I just lost my kid's father, who I was with for over 23 years. We had three children, lots of ups, lots of downs. I've lost my mother, lost my grandmother, and as the years go by, you continue to lose more people. But I want to know how you guys feel on the subject. Hi, Verum. Welcome in. I want to know how you guys feel on the subject of life after death. Do you guys believe that after we die, there's more to life? Or do you believe that when we die, we cease to exist? I do not believe that when we die, we cease to exist. I believe there is an afterlife. I also believe in letting everybody know how to cope with that, because that can be so hard. It's so unexpected, you know. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever have to go through. Hi, Verum. Yes, just having a hard time grieving. Had some death in the family and some losses, and I decided to come on here today and do this live to maybe help others who are going through what I'm going through and have been through, as far as death, how you deal with death, how it affects you, and how you can live life after death. And what I mean by life after death is mean how are you going to survive after the loss of that loved one? You have all these memories and everything that you guys have been through, and have went through in life, in general. Life is a beautiful thing, but sometimes life can be suddenly taken away, and then you don't know how to deal with it, or how to grieve or anything. Life is so difficult. Yes, you are exactly right. It is. I never imagined, it's so crazy how a person can be here one day and then gone the next. They can be there with you. You guys can experience life together, and then all of a sudden they're gone. So, the main thing that you really have in this life left after, death is your memories. You always can hold on to your memories, and that's something that you can carry deep inside of you and can keep inside of you. I have very fond memories, especially of my mother. She was an excellent mother. She was very religious, and she taught me a lot of things And as a kid, you don't really appreciate those things. And then you look back, on other people's lives and you think about your life and you think how your life could have been a whole lot worse. And speaking on me, I had a wonderful childhood, all of that. Wonderful mother. I mean, she's always cooking, always cleaning, always there. You couldn't ask for a better mother. She just, hey Randy, thank you for coming in. I'm trying, girl. I'm trying so hard. I hope I don't know if it's a girl, but thank you so much. I I'm grieving. I mean it's obvious you guys. I'm grieving hard, and it's hard, hard, hard. But the fact that I've been through it before gives me the strength to keep on going. But death is it's not cool. It's not cool at all. It's just something that you just everybody's like, oh, well, just get over it. My mom's been dead for like 5 years now, pretty much almost 5 years, and everybody's like, well, it's been 5 years. You should just get over it. Anybody that tells you just to get over a death, you need to just look them square in the face, and because it's not that easy to just get over it. You do live, and I am living, and I'm a testimony. My children keep me going, my other family members, just knowing that deep down inside you have to keep going. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't mean that it doesn't tear you apart every single day. Death is something that you don't get over. It's something you learn to live with, or pretty much forced to deal with. Oh, thank you, Randy. I really appreciate your subscription. Thank you guys so much. Hi, Sabash. How are you? Today I'm talking about a little touchy subject, death. I'm good. I'm good, Sabash. I'm on here talking about life after death and mourning because I'm going through mourning myself. Like I said, so many things have happened. One person that I really loved so much and really looked up to was my first real touch of death and experience of death, and learning how to deal with the pain and everything you go through, the different stages that you go through when you lose someone. I think my real first experience with death, it doesn't really hit you, until, hey, Sabash, I'm in Maryland. Where you from? It doesn't really hit you until it's someone you love or someone that is really, really close to you. And you hear about people dying every day. Obviously, we all have to go at one point, but we don't want to think about it. That's a very touchy subject. It's not something we want to ponder on or think about from day to day, but it's something that we all have to deal with, or gonna have to deal with if you have not yet. Um, like I said, my first true experience with death would be the death of my grandmother. I was 17, or I was 16 and about to turn 17 the next day, and I wasn't around. I had went away for the summer, and I kept in contact with her and everything like that. But it's my birthday, so I had come back home and I wanted to see her. And okay, Sabash, welcome in. And so I never got to see my grandmother again. My birthday was the next day. I had came home on my birthday, which was August the 4th, and she died August the 5th. So it's like growing up, that was my very first, real touch of death, is when I lost my grandmother in 1996 at the age of 17. She actually died the day right after my birthday. So it hit really hard. So once you lose that first person that was really, really, really close to you, you will get to the point where, you become numb to the fact of death. Like it's hard to explain it. But like I said, I've lost a few people in my life that I have loved. But here recently, I just experienced another death on April the 12th of my kid's father, which is very, very tremendously hard for me. Um, Tremendously hard. We have three children. And like I said, we spent over 23 years together, and a lot of memories, a lot of great memories, good times, bad times. But overall, when a person, is in your life and you spend that many years with a person, and you grow to know to love them and be a part of their lives, and you guys share so much together, and then suddenly they're gone or out of your life, or whatever the case may be, and the person passes on, it's hard for you to register at first, because like when the person first dies, you're numb, you're hurting, but you got so many people around you. The house is full of people, and And thank you, Sabash. You're surrounded by loved ones, and everyone's talking and conversing and laughing and sharing memories of that person, and talking, and that helps, just to have the family around. But what happens when everybody leaves? That's the thing that we all have to deal with. What happens when, the funeral's over with, and the viewing and all that stuff's over with, and everybody's gone and everybody's home, and then life goes back to life as it was before that person was gone. And then you realize, when you're sitting there alone and everything's quiet and there's no one there, that's when death will hit you in ways that you cannot even imagine. That's when death, you really get to experience this thing of death. We, like I said, we all have to do it. It's something that we all have to do, but it's not something that we think about each and every day. We don't walk around thinking about death. We don't, if everything's going good in our lives and our loved ones are good, we fail to realize that every single day on this earth, thousands or maybe millions of people pass away and die. And so it's like, how do you deal with it? How do you cope with it? It's going on all around us. But at the same time, like I said, it doesn't affect you until it affects you. You pretty much, I'm trying to say it. Until it's someone that you love, tell it's someone that you spent time with, and tell someone that you had memories with. And we all think all these things in life matter, like, money, um, vehicles, and the finer things in life, and having it all. But that's not what matters. The main thing in life that matters are the memories. So everything that we have, we can't take it with us. You got to think about it like that. We can gain $1 million, $1 trillion, $1 billion. Look at Michael Jackson. He was like one of the most famous people in the world. He had the most money in the world. He could have bought anything. He could have bought anything he wanted to buy in this world. But at the same time, certain things cannot be brought. So we prepare ourselves for everything in life. We prepare ourselves for our future. We prepare ourselves, our kids, for college. We prepare, our lives, our 401k, and we prepare for, retirement. We prepare for everything. But I think that life after death is the one thing that we don't prepare for. None of us want to prepare for it. None of us want to think about it. We all want to think we're, superhuman or nothing, that we will never pass away. But there will come a time when we all will have to pass away. And it's a sad thought to think about. But I really wanted to do this live because, like, death is touching so many people all around the world. And sometimes you just need someone to talk to. Sometimes you just need to be able to express yourself and let people know how you feel. Like, even though you may walk around smiling and all of that, it's not, death is something that grips you. It grips you from your soul. You carry it around with you wherever you go. You deal with the pain, and it's just, it's incredibly hard. It's incredibly hard. um Harsh reality that, life is not forever, that life will end, that we will lose loved ones. There will be people that have meant so much to us in life, and it will all be gone in just seconds. Literally can be gone in just seconds. So do not take anything for granted. If you love someone, let them know you love them. Spend as much time as you can with that someone, because you never know. And do not ever take life for granted, because you will forever regret that. So it's not important what we have in life. It's the memories. That's the only thing we can take with us. We can't take our homes with us. Our homes won't fit in the casket. We can't take our vehicles with us. Our vehicles won't fit in the casket. But what we can take with us is the memories and the special times and bonds that we have built with the individuals that are around us. So make sure that you love everyone, show love for everyone, and realize that all across the world, people are dying. Thousands of millions of people are dying every single day. So somewhere, someone is experiencing the harsh reality of death, and having to deal with death, and having to deal with the fact of, mourning, life after death. And I'm comforted by the fact that I do believe that after we die, that's not the end. that we still live on, like our spirit still lives on. So that's the most important thing to remember. If you have recently lost a loved one or something like that, remember that they may be gone on this side, but they are not gone. Their spirit lives on. They are watching us from above. They are, they are with us at all times, and they know what we're going through. But as human beings, we have to experience that harsh reality of death, and having to explain to other loved ones, what, how that affects you. Like for me, losing my kid's father, my partner, then having to explain to the kids, having to sit them down and say, well, hey, your dad, can't come around anymore, or, you won't ever be able to see your father again. And how do you tell a child that, how do you explain to a child that, they will never see their father again? And it's kind of like, it's the hardest thing in the world to watch. I mean, anybody hurt, but to watch one of your kids hurt, to watch your children mourn, and you're mourning yourself, and you have to be strong for them. And that's the hardest thing in this world. So like I tell you, you may have good times with the person, you may have bad times with the person, but always remember to show love, because love is what's gonna, matter in the end. And as when that person passes away, the only thing you have are the memories, and being able to sit there and think about the good times, some of the bad times, everything, just being able to reflect on every moment that you shared. So make sure, if you love someone, you tell that person that you love them each and every day, every way that you can, because life is not promised. Life is here now and it could be taken away drastically. So, like I said, death is something that we don't prepare for, but we all have to deal with it. And if you haven't had to deal with it, you should prepare yourself, because in some levels of life, you will have to deal with death. Either if it's not directly, it could be indirectly. It could be a friend, a family member, a coworker. It could be anyone. So please, 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 like I said, show love, make memories, be kind, treat everyone nice, because you never know what someone's going through. You never know if a person just lost someone. You never know if they're mourning. You never know if they need that encouragement. So always be there to uplift another person. Never tear a person down, because you never know what they are going through. Life is hard enough, so we should be there to build each other up. Thank you guys for coming on the live. But if you could share this live for me, I am felt the need to come on here. I won't be with you long on here, but I felt the need to come on at least and to touch on that subject of death, and life after death. And if anybody's in here, hi Mystery. If anybody's in here, please let me know how you feel about life after death. How do you feel about when we lose a loved one? Do you feel as if, they are still with us? Do you feel as if a part of them still goes on? I'm good, Mystery. Today I'm talking about life after death. I had some death in the family, and trying to help encourage others too, to be able to mourn but to live, you know what I mean? Their memories live through you. So you have to push on. And I feel like if I'm going through this with, the death of a family member, I know there are millions of other people all over the world who may be going through the same thing that I'm going through, having lost a loved one, having mourned them, even if it's years later. Like I said, my mother's been dead for almost for 5 years now. My grandmother's been dead for over about 25 years or something like that. And I still mourn. So for all, like I said, all the people that look at you and say, well, oh, it's been over with, like, get over it, like, no, death is something you will never get over. But if you have the comfort of knowing that after death, that a part of that person still lives on, that a part of them is still, carrying on, and that you got to realize that you carry their legacy. Once they die, their body dies or whatever, they are no longer here being able to represent. So you have to represent, and through all the memories that you share with the individuals that you shared it with. And that helps so much, because like I said, my first real death that I had to deal with was my grandmother. We were really close. I think I stayed at her house more than home, but I had a great mother too. But she was the type of grandmother where you can go spend the whole summers. She was always cooking, she was always cleaning, she always taught us a lot. She always took us to church, and that's, I mean, a good thing. Even though we may act like heathens, and we may act out, but if you got that embedded into you, you will never forget it. So that pretty much Train a child the way they grow up and they will never depart it, which is a true, very true statement. Trust me. Um, I just want to give somebody some words of encouragement today, because to let them know that, you know, there is life after death. And though you may be experiencing death right now, and though you have may just have lost your loved one, and you may feel like your whole life is just tragically gone, that you have nothing else to live for, the fact is you do have something else to live for. You do, because their memories, the memories that you share with that person, will forever live on in your mind. It's like when you, even when you go to sleep, you will see that person. They will come to you in your dreams, they will talk to you, they will be with you. They watch us from above. So remember that, you guys, when you lose a loved one, it's not the end of the world. It was the end of their life here on this earth. But everybody leaves an impression on this, on somebody. So we're all here for a reason. And everybody leaves an impression on somebody. But I just want to encourage a lot of the single parents, who are raising children, um, having lost partner, and have to deal with, trying to cope with the loss, as well as being strong for your children. You have to take time for yourself, to deal with what you're going through while mourning in the death. You do have to take time for that, but you also have to take time for your children and realize that they are hurting too. They are mourning, and children mourn different than us. They may not cry all the time or scream or holler, but you will see differences like in their behavior and stuff like that. So, for all the single parents that are going through having just lost their partner and having to deal with raising the children and keeping the legacy of the other parent alive, like, I find it so hard, because I never thought that my kid's dad, he was always so strong. I never thought that. I just wasn't ready. I don't know. I guess none of us are ready for death. Never ready. You take a lot of things for granted and you don't realize. But life is a beautiful thing, and we just need to cherish every single second, because you never know when that second will be your last second. So take time to value one another, and uplift one another. And I would like to know, like, how do you guys feel about life after death? I always like was really into that. Like, I watch a lot of near death experiences on YouTube, and stuff like that. I've had, like, I'm not going to say like a near death experience. I've had asthma my whole entire life, and I had, it was back during the time when I had first lost my grandmother. I was telling you guys that was my first real death that impacted me. I was just turned 17 years old, and I was really having a very, very, very hard time dealing with my grandmother's death. She was pretty much like, we were so close. It's like the traditional grandmom you can remember spending time with. She just always cooking greens and, collard greens. And I used to watch her do all these little things like, grind up clams and stuff like that. And she used to like pick crabs, and she used to cook all the time, a lot of soul food. So I have a lot of great, 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 great memories with my grandma. She'd take me on little trips with her with the little senior citizens and stuff like that. She used to have like Tupperware parties at her house, all types of good memories like that. Even from a little child, you will remember that. And that's the things that imprint you. So make sure that each day you live, that you make sure that you leave an imprint on somebody's life, hopefully in a positive way. But we all live imprints and don't even know that we're leaving them. But I just want to get on here and encourage somebody that, even though you have lost, and you are going through death and mourning and all of that, and it seems like it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. um it's just all a part of life we all have to go through. It's not easy, trust me, it's not easy, because each day I wake up and it's like, how am I gonna face it? I didn't plan on doing it alone. I didn't plan on being a parent alone. I didn't plan on raising kids alone. But life, my partner didn't plan on passing away. Things happen. Things just happen in life, and we can't control them. But the one thing that I do carry within me is the strength that he gave me, the encouraging words that he would give me. Um, when I was low, he would always boost me up. He would always tell me everything's going to be all right. He would give me the strength, to keep going. And even though he's not here with me anymore, I do have that strength within me to know that I can go on and I can keep doing it. I can raise the babies. We can be okay. But it's hard. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you lost a child, or if you've lost a loved one or anything like that, I've never lost a child, but you know, like his father, his mother, just imagining what she's going through, his siblings, other family members, losing my grandma, and then losing my mother was like, the death of my mother was one of the hardest ones. She had, like, it's a lot different when you don't know that you're going to lose a person, and the person just, like, maybe has a car accident, or something accidental happens, and you just, it's a spur of the moment. We weren't expecting the person was well, but like in the case of my mother, she had cancer, and she didn't know it. I guess she started feeling, a little different. And went to the doctor and got a little test done and find out that she has, like, pretty much stage 4 cancer. When she found out that she had cancer, she was already at a stage 4. So our family is like, a person can tell you that death is coming, but you don't want to, you don't want to face it. You don't want to, deal with it. So we knew that, she had stage 4 cancer. It's pretty much like, you don't want to give up, but that's pretty much the worst of the worst. And there are people who have lived through on the stage 4 cancer, but my mom, at the time, it had already spread through her lymph nodes and all through her whole body. There were pieces of the cancer on her liver, on vital organs that, you just can't operate and get it out, and so they did, like, CAT scans and stuff like that on my mother, and found out that she had massive, like, golf ball size tumors as well, on top of the other cancers that she had running all through her body, and plus it had hit her, lymph nodes. So at that point, we went to one of the best, I guess, one of the best hospitals in Maryland, pretty much, with John Hopkins, Baltimore. Um, did all types of things to preserve her life and try to keep her here as long as we could. She's very strong, very resilient. Um, was always thinking of us children, even at during the times when she was, going through the hardest periods of her life and trying to fight for her life. She still was worrying about us. I had the type of mother where I was a grown woman, as she would call. Like, if I had a cold, and if anything, it was like you miss that. When your mother used to wake you up. My mother was pretty much everything. Like, she was my alarm clock. Looking, helping out with the kids and stuff like that. You miss all of that. So you have to treasure every part of life, because you don't know when it's going to be over. My mother was a true fighter. She fought cancer. I guess she found out, she lived about a year from the date she actually found out, but she was over at John Hopkins, and they were doing all types of, chemotherapy, and she had operations to try to, remove some of it. And then it just, I guess, it got to the point where there was just, like, no hope. So they called the entire family into the room and was just telling us that, the best thing for her to do is just to go home and be comfortable with her children, or, all that. And then she was on hospice. We brought her home because that was our goal. Our mother, we were real close to her. So we absolutely were not going to put her on any type of, into any type of nursing home or anything like that. No, that was a definite no. So we brought her home, and with the help of hospice care and stuff, she lived for 6 weeks from the time she was released from John Hopkins, and they had gave up, and there was no hope. So like I said, there are going to be times in your life when you feel like there is absolutely no hope, and to the physical eye, there would be absolutely no hope. So it was a lot for us to stay strong. As I have sisters and brother, and I'm the oldest out of all the children. So it's like, then we try to uplift our father, who was losing his wife. So it's like, that's our mother, but our father was losing his wife. And so we failed to realize, as the kids, we were like, we were about to lose our mom, but we didn't realize that, our father was about to lose his lifetime partner, and them two were together before we ever even existed. So it's kind of, life is like, one of the hardest things you have to deal with sometimes, you guys. So please recognize, like I said, my mother, she did live 6 weeks in hospice, and that's one of the hardest things, I will tell you guys. Dealing with death and being around someone who is critically ill like that, who's, is going to pass on, is about to pass on, and there's nothing you can do. That's one of the worst things in this world. To watch a parent pass away. which is what we literally had to do for 6 weeks to watch our mother just come home just to pretty much die. It's like, you know how if you get sick, you always have the hope that okay, I got sick, but if I go to the doctor, I'll get better. Or if I, take meds, I'll get better. If I go, but when you know that there's no hope, and a doctor looks at you and tells you, we did all we can do, and I imagine I just can't fathom how my mother must have felt laying there dying and not knowing, what I mean, knowing that she was dying but couldn't do anything. You're losing your children, you're losing your family, you're losing everything. And she was the type of mother who um cooked, cleaned all the time, and when she couldn't, it was like I guess she lost all hope because she was so used to caring for the children. She was used to caring for us and taking care of my dad and stuff like that. So it's like when she got sick, critically ill, sick with the cancer, and the hospice was in the house and stuff, she couldn't do all the things that she used to do, and I guess she lost hope. So like I tell you guys, it's not about what you have, because I was brought up, I had everything I needed. I never wanted for anything. But like I said, death is something that it cuts like a knife. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It cuts like a knife. And like I said, with my grandmom, she died in 1996, and it's 2024, and I still cry. So, like I said, don't let anybody tell you that you won't cry, because you will cry. You will cry. Some days you will cry, and there will just feel like there's no hope. But you have to reach higher if you believe in a higher power. I know everyone believes in something different, but you know I will say that if it wasn't for Jesus Christ and him, and believing in him, what my mother taught me about him, that I would not be able to keep going like I am. So it is, you gotta have something that you can rely on, and somebody that you can rely on, and know that when death does come, when death does hit our door, or hit, close to someone that we love, that there is hope, that there is, life after death, that we are spirits, that once our body dies, our spirit is still there. So I don't know, you guys. I just felt the need to come on here, ramble on and on and on. But life after death is a subject that I'm very, interested in. Like I said, I used to watch like a lot of YouTube videos on the near death experiences. There's a lot of them on here, so you guys check them out if you haven't. But I actually believe in that because I've been through a few things in my life as far as life after death, and loved ones. My grandmother, I don't know if it's telepathic or what you call that, or being gifted or whatever, but I have had visions of my grandmothers, and she has passed. I have had visions of even my children's fathers, and he has passed, and he just passed on April the 12th, this past April the 12th. So life, death is something that you're never going to be prepared for, and you mourn how you need to mourn. You take as much time as you need to mourn, and mourn in ways that you need to do it, because it's not going to be easy. And it's not, any people that say that it is, they're pretty much not telling the truth. It's not easy. You can be the strongest person. I'm a very strong person. I don't like to show emotion, but at times it is needed to be shown. And a lot of people going through it and try to hold it in, and like they don't know what to do or where to turn, or what to do, And trust me, if you call on Jesus, he will be there for you. He will help you to mourn. He will be there with you, hold your hand every step of the way as you go through what you got to go through, because it's a lot. And especially if you, like I said, as a parent, a single parent, um, having lost my kids, my children having lost their father, and me having to be the strong one, it's like you get to play roles that you never thought you would have to play. Because I never thought that I would have to be the strong one, or that I would have to hold everything up after it feels like everything is falling apart. So if you're out there and you've lost someone, and I know it's hurting, and especially if it's just happened, you don't understand, and you're like, why me, and why did this happen to the person that I love? And like with the case of my mother, like she died of the terminal cancer and stuff like that, and was on hospice and going through that whole process of watching someone you love die over a process for weeks, and it's nothing you can do but comfort them and try to help them transition to the other side. But If there are any of you guys out there that do believe in life after death or have had any kind of near death experiences, I'm very interested in that type thing. Um, just send me a message and let me know. I would really be interested. Or if you have a video concerning it, send me your video and I will watch it because I'm very interested in life after death. I watch a lot of indie um, near death experience videos and type things like that. But pretty much just this whole video, and the reason I wanted to do this live was to encourage anybody who's dealing with death and have had a death in your family, or anybody you know, a close friend, or someone that was very special to you and you lost them, just to let you know that you can make it. You will make it. You know, there is life after death. You know, you guys just hang on, hold on. Thank you guys for watching today. And if you have not already subscribed, subscribe. I love each and every one of you guys. I should be back on live a little later. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this enlighten and encourage some of y'all to keep going. Even though there is life after death, but we are the life and we have to keep life going. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. You have a blessed day.